Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
It's that whole density issue, and we can see that. People are just walking from bar to bar. And you'll see it on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning where there's vomit on the sidewalks.
With our extended winter now behind us, downtown Fargo's nightlife will be picking up in no time. But not everyone is excited by the idea of more foot traffic in Fargo's entertainment district.
Residents say having so many bars in one small area is not only a nuisance, but a hazard. Valley News Team's Veronica Marshall spoke to one local leader who has a plan to fix the problem.
I've seen everything from people passed out on the sidewalks to individuals that are coming out of bars and they're swinging fists and yelling at each other. We're always calling the police department to let them know what's going on.
Downtown Fargo is the police department's smallest coverage area, but it also has the most calls for service. And residents fear, with liquor licenses still being handed out, those calls could keep going up.
This latest liquor licensing awarding that's been happening is taking us in the wrong direction.
Residents say this has been going on for years, but now there's a new hope for change. City Commissioner Tony Gehrig wants to hire an outside consultant to help revamp the current system. He says changing Fargo's liquor license structure won't be easy or cheap, but it will be worth it for everyone.
There's not too many people in South Fargo where I live that say there are too many bars in South Fargo. So we need to look at a way to have parity across the city and say, if there's too many here, but there's not too many there, how do we control that? To have the professional opinion of someone who's been there and done that, a consultant to come in to say, yeah, that's probably the best way to do that, holds more weight than maybe just someone like me who isn't an expert.
With residents like Preston speaking out, Gehrig says this could finally be the city's chance to make a change.
There's 4,000, 5,000 people living downtown that want to see something happen. There's people in South Fargo, North Fargo that say, I would love to have a liquor license. I can't have one because they're limited. You're killing my business, and now I want a change to happen.
If we want a good, strong residential district downtown, and if we want a good, strong retail district, we have to take care of this. We have to deal with it.
In Fargo, Veronica Marshall, Valley News Live.
Now, besides being a member of the Downtown Neighborhood Association, Arlette Preston is a former city commissioner who's running again to be on the commission. Meanwhile, Gehrig says that when it comes to changing the current liquor ordinances, part of the problem is what to do with establishments that already have licenses, some of which are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Ultimately, he says it'll come down to what the consultant suggests and what gets approved. But one idea for the city is to slowly buy back current licenses so those businesses can be fairly compensated.
Traffic was at a crawl earlier this evening on eastbound I-94 after a car and semi crashed. It happened around 6:30 at the Red River Bridge heading toward the Moorhead exit. The driver of the car suffered minor injuries. Officials were able to clear the scene and get traffic moving again after about half an hour.
After being deployed for 8 months, a North Dakota soldier is home, much to the delight and surprise of his son. While he was away, 8-year-old Ronan Kofeld would ask his mom when he would get a chance to see his dad again. Once Mom heard her husband, Senior Master Sergeant Mark Kofeld, was coming home, she made it into a surprise. She wrapped a note that read "Surprise" in a series of boxes, which Ronan had to open. After he opened all the boxes, his dad, as you can see, walked out from behind the wall. Ronan ran and embraced him with the hug.
Just being back home with my family and then having him, the I miss you really got to me. And when he jumped in my arms, it was very emotional.
Ronan says he's most excited to have his dad home so he can wrestle with him again.
We're heading into the weekend with sunshine and warm weather on our minds. Hutch, are we getting rid of the wind too?
Well, for the time being, we are. The winds have tapered off considerably now as we've headed into the nighttime hours. We're in the 30s here in the Red River Valley, on our way to some low 30s, so some frosty conditions will be possible by our Saturday morning. Expect the continuance of some moderate flooding, near the Oslo area, but the rest of the flood warnings that you see there for minor flooding along the Red River, most areas seeing the rivers retreat. Here's a look at temperatures by daybreak. Again, upper 20s to low 30s, so a frosty start, but I think you'll like the details on our nice weekend warm-up ahead. There is some winds to talk about this weekend as well. I'll have the very latest in your hour-by-hour forecast here in just a couple of moments.
Thanks, Hutch.
You bet.
The country's top law enforcement officer came to Fargo today to talk about the nation's most pressing health crisis. Attorney General Jeff Sessions congratulated law enforcement for unsealing more indictments tied to an international drug ring with ties to the Valley. Evidence shows that the drug ring provided drugs that killed a UND student back in 2015. However, the Attorney General acknowledged there's much more work to be done to curb the nation's deadliest drug epidemic in history.
The president set an ambitious goal, get this, to reduce opioid prescriptions in America by 1/3 in 3 years. I think we can do that.
Along with tightening prescription opioids, Sessions says they want to tighten border security and make sentences tougher for convicted drug dealers.
A missing United States sailor from Stillwater, Minnesota has been found safe. Jacob Tyler was last seen more than a week ago when he left his home in Connecticut on his motorcycle. He was found in another state. They don't suspect a criminal aspect to his disappearance. He is a civil engineer assigned to the submarine USS North Dakota and was scheduled to deploy in August.
Multiple charges have been filed against a Fergus Falls woman after police found meth near her 4-year-old child. 25-year-old Alyssa Jensen was arrested on charges of 5th-degree possession of controlled substance and child endangerment. Police say when they searched a home on the 800 block of West Lincoln Avenue, they found meth in an area accessible to Jensen's child.
Police in Bemidji need your help tracking down some people suspected of being involved in crimes in that area. Take a look at these photos. The man and the woman on your screen are people of interest in 2 separate investigations. If you recognize either of them, you can call Bemidji Police at this phone number, 218-751-9111. Be sure to reference either photo 293 or 294.
It's Friday, which means it's time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say Cody Moffett is wanted for possession of drug paraphernalia. His picture there is on your screen right now. Call your local law enforcement if you have any information on his whereabouts.
Mother's Day is right around the corner, and to help celebrate, Louisville Slugger is making pink bats. Louisville Slugger and the MLB began the Going to Bat Against Breast Cancer initiative in 2006. Major League Baseball players will autograph the pink bats they use in Mother's Day games, and they'll be auctioned off for charities leading the fight against breast cancer. Louisville Slugger is the official bat of MLB and is celebrating its 134th year in baseball.
I looked up and I seen like embers in the ceiling. I go, oh, there's a fire in the roof.
Help for a Minnesota couple trying to get back on their feet.
Charles and Rita Leach lost pretty much everything except a few personal items, which fire ripped through their home in February. Tonight, a free will fundraiser was held for the couple at the Glendon Lutheran Church. Family, friends, and the local community came out to share a meal and take part in a silent auction.
They said right away, we're going to have a Bennett for you because you need to get back on your feet. And so we'd really like to thank them for being our friends.
The Leaches are still looking for a spot of land to build a new home on.
An ex-police officer accused of being the Golden State Killer appears in a courtroom in a wheelchair. What happened later on Valley News Live at 10.
Fueled by tainted lettuce from Arizona. Up next, what you can do to prevent E. coli illness.